Hello everybody, Scotty the Trainer here. Welcome back to Scotty the Trainer Tuesdays. So we are continuing on with part 2, the continuation of Think Twice Before You Call Them Your Best Friend. Think twice before you call them your best friend. I've already covered the first 3 points of this in the last video, so be sure to check it out either on Facebook, Google+, or you can always go to my YouTube channel. Just type in my name, Scotty Packer, and you'll find the video there. You'll also find other videos, so I want to push you there for a minute, talk about it just for a second. The YouTube channel, Scotty Packer, type it in, find my YouTube channel. There's a ton of videos there. Check them out. But I want to continue on with this thought. Think twice before you call them your best friend. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this is because relationships are very important. Did you know that if you succeed anywhere in your life, you can trace it back to a relationship that you had? You can trace it back to a relationship that you had. Interesting thing. Scotty the Trainer was born when I was promoted to the office of trainer in the job that I'm at right now, which I've been at for the last 4 years, which I'm very appreciative for. Well, the man who hired me for that job retired. He actually came back to the office just a week ago. And when I was talking to him, I told him, I said, you know, Bob, you changed my life. And he said to me, no, you changed your life. All I did was put you in the position, and you're the one that made the steps and the progress to put yourself in the place that I was. Well, I got what he was saying. I realized that I'm the one, once I was put there, that had to keep working at it. But it was his relationship with me that launched me into that position. Not only successes, but many times you can trace your failures back to a relationship. You can trace your failures sometimes. People that you thought were your friends, people that you thought were going to stand beside you, people that you thought were always going to be there with you. And then they turn around and maybe betray you or let you down or something like that. Or maybe you took the advice of someone that led you down the wrong road. I know in my own life, if I stop and look at it, a relationship can lead to successes in your life. A relationship can lead to failures in your life. So friendships are very, very important. And the older that I get, the moniker best friend becomes so important. You know, as life goes on, really the older that I get and the older that you and I get, the more wiser we get, the more things that we've gone through, and the more that we realize we don't have as many best friends as we think that we do. Really, the older you get, you don't really need a ton of friends. You just need 2 or 3 people every few days to come by, check on you, make sure you're all right, and keep right on going. When I was younger, I wanted as many people around me as I could get, you know, and call them friends. But we find out the older that we get, the less and less people we really let within that inner circle of best friend. So as I talked about this last week, let me move on to points 4, 5, and 6, all right? Think twice before you call them your best friend if, number 4, what interests you does not interest them. Think about it. How are you going to have a best friend relationship with someone if you don't have some type of commonality? How are you going to sit down and talk with them? I mean, when I think about a best friend, this is a person that you can talk on the phone for hours. They can drop by your house. You can meet them in a restaurant and, man, close the place down. I know people in my life that I had that were best friends. We would go to Starbucks. We'd start inside. We'd sit in there. And then we'd go outside. We'd sit out there. We were there when they turned the lights off on us. That was a best friend. But how are you going to have a best friend relationship with someone if the interests are not the same? If their interests don't pique your mind and your insides and your spirit, and then the interests that you have don't pique their spirits and their minds, how in the world can that possibly be a best friend? So think twice. If the people that you put the moniker on, best friend, if what interests you doesn't interest them and vice versa. Think about it. Number 5, think twice before you call them your best friend if they ignore your counsel. Best friends are supposed to be able to give input to each other. But if you have someone that every time you give them an advice or a piece of advice, a word of wisdom or inspiration or education, and they say, nah, I'm not going to do that. Now, they don't have to take every piece of advice that you say, but if they don't take any of it, is that really your best friend? Think about it. Is it really your best friend? Same thing, if you have people in your life that you never take their advice, even if it's good, sound counsel, if you never take their advice, are they really your best friend? A best friend should be able to speak into your life. A best friend should be able to help you see things that you can't see, because a lot of times in life we get tunnel vision. We only see things one way, this way, our way. But a best friend should be able to point out other options. Even if you don't take them, they should at least be able to point some things out. And every now and then, it should strike on a good idea that you be able to say, you know what, that's good sound advice. And the same should work for them. You should be able to point something out that they pause in the conversation and say, you know what? That's a good thought. I hadn't really thought about that. That's a good idea. I think I'm gonna take that. That's a best friend. But if they never take your advice or counsel and you don't take their advice and counsel, and it's not good, solid counsel, they don't deserve the moniker of your best friend. So think twice before you call them your best friend. If what interests you doesn't interest them, if you don't take their counsel and they don't take your counsel. And then number 6, think twice before you call them your best friend if the relationship does not push you to do better. If the relationship doesn't push you to do better, how can that be your best friend? You know, when I was a kid, I had certain friends that I would run with, and when I would come home, my mother would know who I hung out with without me even telling her. You know, moms have that sixth sense about them where they just know. I had a friend by the name of Stephen Parker who acted absolutely ridiculous, silly. We did stupid stuff, said stupid stuff. And when I came home, I had that same stupid, silly mentality. Not that Stephen was stupid, but it was just the way we were. And my mom would say, "You've been hanging out with that Stephen Parker. I know it. Because you sound just like him. You're talking just like him. You're saying silly things just like him. You're making noises bloop, 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 just like him." She knew that. If the relationship doesn't build you up to do better, if it doesn't inspire you, if it doesn't motivate you, if it doesn't educate you, if it doesn't help you have self-help to reach to the next rung, to step to the next level, think twice before you call that person your best friend. If the relationship you have with them keeps bringing you down a rung, keeps bringing you a step down, keeps bringing you down to bad decisions, keeps bringing you down to bad decisions that lead you into terrible spots, and spots that were worse than you were before you were with them, don't call that person your best friend, because they're not. A best friend, the universe puts in our life best friends who will inspire us to step to the next level, to be a better person, to be a better father, a better husband, a better wife, a better whatever it is that you're aspiring to be. That is a relationship worth nurturing and holding on to and saying, that is my best friend. So all I want to do this month is I just want to spur our thoughts for a second to think twice before you call them your best friend. To recap, number 4, 5, and 6. If what interests you doesn't interest them, or vice versa. If they ignore your counsel, or vice versa. And if the relationship does not inspire you to be a better person, stop, pause, and think twice before you call them your best friend. As always, that's just how I see it. Something to think about. I'm Scotty the Trainer. Thanks for joining me. Scotty the Trainer Tuesdays.